chapter 5 chapter of class 8, and we will understand what are the main points in this chapter. In this chapter you will learn more about what is coal and how it is formed and what are the types of sources. So in the beginning there is a column given here, natural and man-made resources. So what are natural resources and man-made? You can give any example. And if the question is asked here, does this list include air, water? So you know that in the natural column you will put name of the natural sources which are used, and man-made are things which are prepared by man. So these are classified here as air, water and the exhausted source by human beings. And there are two types of sources which are described in this column, and they are classified under the heading inexhaustible and exhaustible. The sources which do not get finished and the sources which get finished. Inexhaustible, they are present in unlimited quantity. They are inexhaustible. They are present in large quantity and they are not likely to be finished. Examples are sunlight and air. So these are the sources which are present in large quantity and they are not likely to finish in the coming time. And the second type of sources are exhaustible. These are which may get finished, which will get finished because their resources are less. And the example is coal and petroleum. We know that coal and petroleum and wildlife, forest, all these are, why do we talk about conservation of forest, conservation of animals, conservation of coal and petroleum? Because their resources are limited on the earth. They will not last for long. So we have to look for the conservation. So in this activity, in this chapter, we will read what are the exhaustible and inexhaustible sources, and what and why do we talk about conservation. In this chapter we will learn more about exhaustible natural resources. Inexhaustible resources, there is an example given here which is describing that there may be some sources which will not last for long. So there is an explanation here. This is not a very part, but it is example given that there is a container and some of the amount, some of the things present will get finished and some of them will not last for long. So if we see here, the main part starts that in the chapter you will learn about exhaustible natural resources, coal and petroleum. That is why the chapter is called coal and petroleum. These were formed from the dead remains of living organisms. So these resources are discussed in detail in this, and these sources are known as fossil fuels. So what are fossil fuels? This is explained in detail in the chapter fuel, which is in the later on. You will read that later on. But fossil fuels, they are called fossil fuels because these coal and petroleum are obtained from dead remains of plants and animals. Coal and petroleum are formed from the two resources, coal or petroleum, and coal and petroleum are both obtained from earth, so they are natural resources. So the beginning is coal. So everyone must have seen coal, the black colored substance. It is hard as stone and it is black in color. Coal is one of the fuel used to cook food. It is, you may not have seen it being used now, but it is the main source of energy which is used in industries. It was used in railway engines earlier, but now it is replaced by electricity. But coal is still used in industry and for generating electricity. It is used in the thermal power plant where coal is burnt. Coal is burnt to boil water, and the boiling of water is used to produce steam, and the steam is used to generate to produce a pressure. It is a process where we can say that Coal is burnt. You burn coal, you burn it, it produces heat. This heat is used to boil water. When the water is boiled, it produces steam. This steam produces a pressure, like you must have seen in pressure cooker. This pressure is used to move turbines. Turbine word you must have heard, turbine, which is the generator. These are fitted in the thermal power plant. You must have heard about NTPC. So its work is to burn coal and produce heat, and this heat is used to boil water, and the steam is used to produce electricity. So coal is important in our country because it is considered as the main source of electricity. It is replaced now, but still major part of electricity is produced from coal. And now, what is coal and how was it formed? It is a story. So what is the story of coal? The story of coal is that coal 300 million years ago, the earth had forests. At that time, and there were no animals, so small animals were there. So there were forests only on the earth, and 300 million years ago, the earth had dense forests in low-lying wetlands. At that time, the earth was having lot of changes like there was earth was cooling down, earth was having lot of earthquakes and all. So in that, due to natural process like flood or earthquake, there were flood and there were changes. Due to that, what happened, their forests which were growing in different part of the earth, they got buried under the soil suddenly. When the flood came, the whole area was covered and the trees were buried inside the earth, and the whole forests were covered with soil. Now, when they were covered with soil, they were left inside the earth for many years. Many years means 300 million, millions of years passed and they were buried inside. So they started decomposing, but that decomposition was in the absence of oxygen. They were buried as more soil deposited over them, they were compressed. They were having high pressure. And due to high pressure, what happened? Uh, they sank deeper and deeper under high pressure and high temperature. Temperature was because of the earth. The dead plants slowly converted to coal. Due to high pressure, they were converted into coal, and the coal which was preserved inside the earth slowly changed into the dead trees converted into coal. Today, when we go inside the earth and dig, because why coal is found inside the earth? Because layers of soil went on depositing above the dead trees. As the coal contains mainly carbon, so today when you dig them, you will see the dead vegetation into coal. The trees have converted into coal by the process of carbonization. This is important. The process by which coal was converted into the dead trees were converted into coal, that is called carbonization. Since the coal was formed from the remains of vegetation, it is also called fossil fuel. And there is a coal mine shown in your book. From outside it looks like a normal that digging is going on, but yes, when you dig inside, you have to go deep inside the earth, and when you go deep inside the earth, coal is found in different layers. It is found in different areas. So when you go deep inside, you will see it is like, if you go inside the earth, you will see this is the top of the earth. When you will go inside, you will go to the first layer, then you will go to next layer, then you will go to next layer. So what happens, the soil which is at the top is having less pressure. So when you go deep inside, you will find those trees which were buried millions of years ago deep inside the earth. So you will find that the coal which is at the top here, below it and below it and below it. So it is obvious which coal will be having more pressure, the coal which is at the bottom. So coal which was formed millions of years ago, it changed and changed, and therefore when you dig inside, we get different types of coal because the trees were buried in different layers. So there are different types of coal which are found. Coal is processed in the industry. So when you take out the coal from the earth, it is processed, purified, and then it is changed into coke, coal, and coal gas. So when you process the coal, you will get different components of coal. These components are considered as parts of the coal. We will discuss more about of these components in the next class. So revise what we have discussed. How was coal formed? We will continue in the next class. See you in the next class.